In a small-town hospital, on a stormy night many years ago, a fateful mistake was made. Two newborn girls, unaware of the circumstances that would shape their destinies, were switched at birth. One was destined to be raised in the comforts of wealth, while the other would grow up in the shadows of struggle. One child, destined for a life of privilege, raised in a home with every luxury one could imagine. The other, born into a family who would fight tooth and nail to survive, yet always be burdened by the weight of poverty. And so, the world moved on. Mary, a bright and humble girl, was raised in the arms of her wealthy adoptive parents, surrounded by love, opportunity, and admiration. Sophie, on the other hand, was raised by a mother who did her best to make ends meet and a father who often sank into the depths of his own battles, leaving Sophie to navigate a world filled with hardship. But for both girls, something was missing. For Mary, it was a sense of belonging that never quite fit. A feeling deep inside, one she could not explain, that told her there was more to the story of her life than what she knew. For Sophie, the emptiness was louder. A heart burdened by jealousy, by the unfairness of the life she had been dealt. Her struggles were unnoticed by most, overshadowed by the glaring contrast of Mary's perfect existence. And so, their paths intertwined. Two girls, unknowingly tied by fate, whose rivalry would grow as Sophie's envy of Mary's world pushed them farther apart. A rivalry built not on their differences, but on the life Sophie wished she could have had. But neither of them knew the truth, not yet. The truth that would change everything, unravel the lives they had built, and force them to face a reality they never could have imagined. A new face. A new chapter in the life of this school. A place where every corner hides stories, and every hallway echoes with the whispers of first impressions. His name, Dante. His presence, unmistakable. He surveys the school as if it's a stage, and he's the lead actor. Eyes follow him as he walks past groups of students. Dante. The kind of person you only notice once. And when you do, you can't help but wonder, who is he? What's his story? You see, not everyone walks into a room and commands attention, but Dante does just that. He walks with purpose, his head held high, like a king returning to his throne. He makes his way into a classroom, and the camera zooms in on his confident smile as he takes a seat. His gaze flickers to Mary sitting at the front of the room, engrossed in her book. Dante's eyes linger for a moment longer than necessary. But then, across the room, there's Mary. She doesn't seek attention, doesn't try to stand out. And yet, there's something magnetic about her, an aura of quiet brilliance, of sincerity that radiates even in her silence. It's this brilliance, this gentleness that seems to draw Dante's attention. Dante taps a pen on the desk, clearly distracted by his thoughts. After a moment, he stands up and walks over to Mary. Dante, smiling, casually. "Hey, you're Mary, right? I've heard a lot about you, always acing every test, always so composed. I could use some of that." Mary looks up, startled at first, then smiles softly, her eyes still wary but kind. Mary, shyly. "Oh, yeah, well, I do try my best. It's nothing special." Dante, with a teasing smile. "I beg to differ. You've got that untouchable vibe. It's pretty impressive." Mary laughs awkwardly, trying to hide her nervousness. "Mary, it's just schoolwork. Nothing to be nervous about. Dante chuckles and leans against the desk, looking at her with a genuine curiosity. Dante, smiling warmly. Maybe. But I think there's more to you than that. I'd like to get to know you better. Maybe we could study together sometime. Mary blushes, clearly taken aback by his forwardness, but she nods politely. Mary, hesitantly. Sure. That sounds nice. The bell rings, and students file out of the classroom. Dante waits for Mary by the door, holding it open for her. As they exit, Dante casually walks alongside her, continuing their conversation. Meanwhile, in the background, Sophie is walking with her group of friends, her gaze fixed on Mary and Dante. She watches them from afar, but the way her fingers tighten around the straps of her bag betrays her frustration. Her heart beats faster, and her thoughts race. Sophie, on the other hand, has spent years trying to find her place. Her own brilliance often feels overshadowed by the perfect image Mary projects, the golden child. Sophie watches Dante with a flicker of concern. As he laughs with Mary, she narrows her eyes, jealousy creeping into her chest. Her lips curl into a tight smile before she turns and walks away quickly. Sophie has always known how to stand out in a crowd. But lately, it feels like the spotlight is no longer hers. It's shifted to someone else. Cut to Sophie sitting alone at lunch. She pokes at her food absent-mindedly, her thoughts consumed by what she's seen. The cafeteria is buzzing with conversation, but Sophie feels like she's in a vacuum, isolated. Her eyes wander across the room to where Mary and Dante are seated together, laughing over something trivial. She watches them, smiles on their faces, and a pang of something unfamiliar stirs inside her. Something bitter. Something she doesn't quite understand. The camera focuses on Sophie's face, her eyes flicking between Mary and Dante. Sophie is no stranger to competition. But this feels different. She's always prided herself on her ability to stand out. But here, in the shadows of her sister's perfect life, she's nothing more than a fading echo. And she's not ready to let it go. Cut to the following day. Dante and Mary are walking down the hallway together. Sophie watches them from a distance, her face hardening with every step they take. She clenches her jaw, the jealousy inside her growing into something darker. The truth is, Sophie isn't just jealous of Dante's attention toward Mary. No, it's more than that. It's the fear of being forgotten. Of fading into the background while Mary takes the center stage. But Sophie doesn't know how to fight this battle, so she retreats inward, her coldness growing as she pushes everyone away, including her own sister. Sophie stares at her reflection in the mirror later that day. Her eyes are filled with bitterness, but also something else, fear. Voiceover, reflective, softer tone. Cold, dismissive. That's how she's acting. But is it really the solution? To build walls around herself, to shut everyone out, including the one person she's always called family. But in Sophie's world, when everything feels like it's slipping away, sometimes the only thing you can do is push people away before they get too close. Cut to a quiet scene later that evening. Dante is alone, looking out the window, deep in thought. His expression is serious now, a contrast to his usual charming smile. But Dante's attention isn't just a passing fancy. No, there's something more to his interest in Mary. The question is, what does he really want? Is it just admiration, or is there something deeper, a secret he's not yet ready to share? And so, the game begins. Mary is unaware of the tangled web starting to form around her. Sophie is only beginning to show the cracks in her armor. And Dante, well, Dante is still playing a game with rules no one else can see.